From Lalate News headquarters in Santa Monica, this is Mornings Lalate.
It's a big morning on Mornings at LA, direct from Santa Monica, live on air with your fourth stimulus check update of 2021. In this recording, we'll go over that monthly stimulus check that the Democrats want you to have and why they're likely to give you more months of checks. Then we cut to the recon. Done deal, signed, sealed. And in this recording, you'll hear the breaking news from the White House today. Yes, today, about this fourth stimulus recon. It happened minutes ago. All the latest details about this fourth stimulus recon, and guess what? It's deliciousness. Then in the final 15 minutes of this video, we'll be going over what this recon pays you and why the number one guy in DC is flexing his muscles to make sure you get every penny you can for MSC. We'll go over all this and more, and the latest breaking news about unemployment benefits, and why one viewer who got $80,000 from this channel last week was able to get $100,000 on top of that this week. I'll have all that deliciousness and why you found the place to get the big sums of money. This is Mornings Lalate. Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day, and so excited for you to join me on this gorgeous Labor Day weekend as we head to the beach. But like a beach, DC is not on break because this morning, the number one guy in DC behind Joe Biden spoke out about your fourth stimulus recon. I told you they're working on it. I told you I was going to have updates, and I told you it was not a weekend to cash out and disappear. I'll have the latest details about what was said about that recon. Then those MSCs, the latest breaking details about that, and then what's happening with those unemployment benefits. Meantime, you're going to see why this is the channel where you need to stay because fortunes are being made by the hour. And this is Lalate, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America, live in the morning and taped in the afternoons. Coming up next is Mornings Crypto at 10 o'clock, then noontime at 11 a.m. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record. I want you part of this family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes. And consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. If you're just finding this channel, let me tell you what this channel's doing this week. This channel is getting people fortunes and fortunes of money that's available for you right now under third stimulus. Because there is no fourth stimulus check landing in your bank account or your hand this week. It wasn't landing next week or last week. But there's 20 to 30,000 at least to get in your hand this week. And it's available for third stimulus. Also, this channel is delivering 24 hours a day, 7 days a week financial news. No one else is doing it. And finally, this channel is delivering world exclusives you're not going to hear anywhere in your local news channel, your broadcast news channel, your cable operator, and any other YouTube channel. This is the place for world exclusives on these monthly stimulus checks. Let's get to those right now. Senate versus House, House versus Senate. I think you have an opinion. Get ready to vote in the live chat. Let's look at who wants to propose what and what has been proposed. Americans are demanding a monthly stimulus check of $2,000 and a signature signed by nearly 4 million Americans. But the talk of the town still remains a lot of the other items. Let's look at what's going on. House, Senate. Here's Senate. Warren, Sanders, and Wyden calling for monthly stimulus check, but not saying the amount nor the number of months. Then over on the House side, we have AOC and Omar calling for $2,000, but not saying the number of months. We have the House Ways and Means Committee writing a promise to give you monthly fourth stimulus checks, but not saying the amount and not saying the number of months. And then the one captivating a country has been, of course, the House bill. That is pandemic plus 1 year. That is $2,000 the first month only, but $1,000 thereafter, which would amount to about $13,000 over 1 year. I think you have an opinion. Vote House or Senate, House or Senate, and tell me where you're tuning in from this beautiful Mornings Lalate, because the toast is toasting, the butter is buttering, the coffee's brewing. I'm here, you're here, And this is LA. Who gets this fourth stimulus check? You do. Democrats represent that. You've got a third, you're getting a fourth. Single individual, 75,000 or less. Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. Married couple, 150,000 or less. Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. Double it. Family of four, Democrats represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. Quadruple it. And if you're on benefits, SSI, SSDI, Social Security, Railroad benefits, Democrats will represent, you get a fourth stimulus check. The fourth stimulus check is not income. It's not taxable. And the fourth stimulus check would not be a different amount for different people. And finally, the fourth stimulus check is not a waivable check. So if you're at the beach this weekend and the check runs up to you and starts waving, it's the German check. And if it kisses you on two cheeks, it's the French check. In the second half of this video, we'll be going over the latest details about this fourth stimulus recon. And then we'll be cutting to the world exclusives of what you're hearing on this channel and what the White House said about this fourth stimulus recon minutes ago. But first, get a pen and paper ready, because let's be honest to each other right now. There's no fourth stimulus check landing next week. There's nothing for fourth stimulus landing next week. There's nothing for fourth stimulus landing last week. But there's fortunes. I don't mean a few $100s. I mean fortunes of money available for you under third stimulus you can be getting right now. A week ago today, we met Johnny, a viewer of this channel. Johnny, not this last week, but the week before that, he started the week at $0. By the middle of the week, he was one of 3 viewers who had gotten $40,000 from this channel from third stimulus. Rent, utilities, food, and internet. I'll go over his items in a second. By the weekend, he didn't stop. By last weekend, he had gotten 7 items, which is 7 phone calls, 7 different items, bringing his grand total to $80,000. Well, I have an update for Johnny. Johnny reveals to us that since last week, he told his family members, not neighbors or people down the street, his family members about this channel. And he told them how much money he was getting. And he said, you need to get this money right now. Their reaction at first was disbelief. Seen that, done that on this channel. When I launched Purple Hawks in January of this year, I told people, don't focus on a $1,400 third stimulus check. I said, focus on the other sums of money in there. And even to this day, a lot of people don't believe that there's other sums of money in third stimulus that's available for you to get right now. Those other people are Johnny's family members. So Johnny reports to us today the following update. Hey, Lalate, just like you've been reporting about, I've been talking about you to my friends and family. And as of today, I've helped 5 friends save their homes and put food on their table. And 3 family members thought I was full of it. Wow. There you go. Disbelief. People think, well, I just want to hear about stimulus check. I don't want to hear about anything else. This is the money that's available for you right now. His family members needed convincing. So what did they get? What did Johnny get those people in less than 1 week after he got $80,000? $100,000, if I'm reading it correctly, and if I'm reading it incorrectly, it's $150,000 in 1 week. That's what this channel's doing. He says, he says 3 family members thought I was full of it till they got Snap, because it was a Snap. And oh my God, 2 family members got $41,500 and the other one got $57,600. This has been awesome to see others stop stressing about bills. Your channel has helped so many others, myself tremendously. You are such a godsend. Purple Hour, Purple Hawks. Get that pen and paper ready, because it's your day to get that big money right now. You're going to get some rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, homeowners assistance, and other sums of money. I'm going to get this money for you right now. Let's start with the rent. Let's look at the money for rent that viewers are getting. They're getting over $20,000 on average. We have a lot of viewers who have gotten over $20,000. Let's look at this graphic. Massive payouts across the board. There you go. Elizabeth, $27,000, all the way to Nisi at $20,000. Then when we talk about utilities, Johnny getting $9,000 for utilities. So the numbers are going bigger by the moment. Then when we talk about Snap, you saw the 2 friends and neighbors getting $40,000, $50,000 annualized for Snap. The numbers are going bigger by the moment. And then Nisi getting 3 items at $23,000, Nancy at 3 items at $32,000, and Mark 2 items at $32,000. Let's turn to Mark. Now, Mark is sort of like Johnny. Mark has 4 wonderful stories to tell us from his 2 items. Mark got 2 items at 32,000. So for 5 days on camera, I told Mark, go get Snap because it's a Snap. And within 5 days, he got Snap because it is a Snap. Just like Johnny, he told his family members, you need to go get Snap. Oh, really? What is this? Go get it. And less than a few days, they got Snap. Number 2. Mark told his neighbor about this channel, and that neighbor went from $0 to $20,000 of rent in less than 5 days. Not unusual because another viewer did that last weekend, and she said, "Oh my goodness, my neighbor my friend now has gotten $21,000. Her name is Chanan. I told my friend about you, LA. Now she's addicted to your channel. She got $9,000 for rent, $5,000 for utilities, and $6,000 for Snap. Thank you, annualized. Thank you, you rock. $21,000. Then third, Mark showed us that you cannot stop at one item. You're going to see under forced stimulus that forced stimulus has a lot of different checks for you, just like third stimulus. And that's why it's so important, because Mark is now seeing, wait, I'm going to go get 4, 5, 6 more items because Johnny got 7 items. Mark got that Snap, getting how much for Snap? Mark got a lot for Snap. Mark got $19,000 for Snap, bringing his grand total to over $50,500. But guess what? That ceiling is not there because Lorraine got over $100,000. And this is what we do because this is LA. I launched this channel in 2020 because people had applied for something called the EIDL loan and EIDL grant, and they were not getting approved. So they needed someone to help get them approved. And one after another, I did their applications on air and off camera, getting $25 million of EIDL loans approved, saving their homes, their businesses, and their employees' homes. 3 days later, people needed help with a very, very confusing new application. It was new. No one had ever seen it because it had just gone live in some states. Other states were delayed, like Florida and Texas. Eileen Bellenkamp out of Florida got $15,000 from this channel. What was that confusing application? PUA. In fall of 2020, it was exactly like right now. We were told we were supposed to get a second stimulus check. There was no second stimulus check coming in December. You need your bills paid. So I got viewers $250,000 for rent. It was a very important situation because of the holidays. You had no money. You needed money. I got that money, and Tyrone and his family of 4 got $15,000 for rent, paid all their rent to the new year. Now we're in the same circumstance because, let's be honest, there's no forced stimulus check coming next week. You have bills. You need money paid. Let's get this money. Let's do it right now. Get that pen and paper ready. I'm going to show you how to get this. If I talk at any time during this video too fast, you can always replay the video. There's a button under the video. We're going to start with some introductory comments. Number 1. I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to for the money to start with. Make sure you reach out to all 6. Each place has different eligibility. If one says no, reach out to the next. Next, they all have their own pot of money. Third, every state is given money across the board, the same amount of money based upon the number of citizens. Finally, listen to the keywords I say in this video. It really helps get people approved. All right, you ready? You're going to reach out to your city hall, your city housing authority, your county hall, your county housing authority, your state hall, and your state housing authority. That's 6. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID, mortgage or utility assistance because of COVID. You don't say words they don't know, like stimulus or Mitch's popularity fan club. They don't know those words. And congratulations to Tim and Linda who got this wonderful pot of money for rent. If you got it as well, post in the live chat right now. Here's a breaking news alert. This morning, Ron Klain, the president's chief of staff, the #1 guy in the president's administration, appeared on broadcast media talking about the forced stimulus recon, talking about a lot of things. He also spoke about unemployment assistance, enhanced unemployment assistance, expiring this coming week. The enhanced unemployment assistance will be extended by the federal government. The basic answer was no. Federal government is not extending your federal unemployment assistance. Can the states do it? They have the money to do it. That's what Ron Klain talked about. It's what I talked about on this channel as well. The federal government has said that money that was given to the states under third stimulus for the states has now been reauthorized by the president to be relocated from the states' funds into unemployment benefits for you. How many states are doing that? 0. They want to keep the money for themselves, of course, the states. So they're not dedicating their money for you for enhanced unemployment benefits. So the reality check of this channel is there is no enhanced unemployment benefits continuing past next week. The federal government will not be doing anything about it. Get this money for rent. Get this money for utilities. We're showing you this big money right now. I want you to get this money. This is what this channel does. This is why you want to be part of this channel, to show you how to get this money. This is money right now. The next part of the money is the money for SNAP. SNAP is money for food that you get from Department of Agriculture, and it pays a lot. Lynn Glenn got it for herself and her son and her mom. You met Mark, who got $19,000. Well, guess what? That's now going to be worth $25,000. The incredible great news is delivered by the Department of Agriculture 2 Mondays ago. Everyone's benefits are going up an average of 25% lifetime automatically nationwide starting in October. Yes. And you saw Johnny showed his 2 family members how to get $100,000 among 2 of them. If I'm reading that right, otherwise he means 3 of them at $150,000. Incredible great news. If you got money for SNAP, post in the live chat right now. The next part of the money is the money coming back from unemployments from your state due to computer error and overpayment. Federal government has ordered that back to you. One of you got $3,000, other of you got $5,000. Where's it landing? Direct deposit. And the great news is the federal government has ordered the states to upgrade the computer systems. Just last week, Microsoft announced Windows 10 has an upgrade. It's Windows 11. Perfect timing for the States, which is still running Windows 1910. The version where you rub 2 sticks together to create fire. And finally, that refund check coming back from IRS. That's landing by direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Average refund monies are somewhere between $1,200 to upwards of $2,000. One viewer got over the weekend. Margaret got it, Todd got it, Michael got it. More about that in a second. But here's a personal message from me to you. This channel was launched for me to get you money. This channel was not launched for me to answer the question, when. We're not here to track checks. We're here to cash checks. And I launched this channel in 2020, get people's EIDL loan checks that were not getting approved. And every day and every hour, I'm fighting to get you tens of thousands of dollars. So if you're in the live chat, post your success story you got for rent, utilities, food, or internet, because you help so many people when you do. Number 1, when you post a success story, they realize, I just got to pick up the phone and call. These people are getting these sums of money. I need to pick up the phone and just call. Number 2, they realize the sums of money are going bigger and bolder than ever before. A lot of people never heard of Snap till they found this channel. You saw Johnny's family members. They never heard of it. Now 2 have over $50,000 in their pocket because of this money. And then finally, a lot of people just sort of need that inspiration to realize this is a lot of items for them to get. So post your success story in the live chat. And now we turn to the last part of the money, that refund check from IRS. Where's the landing? Direct deposit, otherwise in the mail. Can you track it? Yeah, go to irs.gov and do a transcript search. 70% of the time, it'll reveal it. And there you go. And now with that, we go into the second part of your Forced Stimulus Check Update 2021 with the breaking news you're hearing for the first time on Mornings at Lalate. Forced Stimulus Recon, done deal. It's ironic because over the last 2 weeks, since the recon procedural passed, I've been telling you, done deal. Why? Because the recon passed, number 1, with a price tag of $3.5 trillion, 2, that all the Democrats vote in favor of it, 3, and that it's all checks for the American people. And number 4, that there's almost nothing in there for corporations, unlike the previous stimulus packages. Ron Klain, the president's chief of staff, appeared on broadcast media just about an hour or 2 ago and was asked about a Joe Manchin op-ed in the Washington Post. And guess what he said, Ron Klain? Exactly what I say on this channel. He sort of laughed about the article, saying, well, we just already passed the recon. We just passed the recon. Now, he called it recon framework instead of recon procedural, but he said, we just passed it. So, I don't know what you're asking me about. We just passed it. Now, he also basically went and said, over the last 4 months, every single time that we've been at one step of this recon, there's been a news report out there trying to say that the recon was dead. And he sort of laughed at it. And you know what he's referring to? He's referring to the conservative media that consistently wants to run the story that the recon is not happening. And he's just sort of laughed at it. Sort of like what I do. How do we get to this wonderful spot? By taking roads and bridges out of the recon and putting it into the bipartisan. And that was actually confirmed by conservative publications op-ed. The higher the price tag was on the recon before, the harder it was to pass. There you go. But by allowing the Democrats to take out some of the spending from the recon and put it in the bipartisan, the overall price tag of the recon got smaller. In other words, the bipartisan deal made the recon passable. Now, there's a reason why you watch this channel. There's a lot going on this channel. I got it. I'm getting people money. I'm delivering world exclusives. I'm also reporting things breaking news way before they happen. And in the month of June and July, I reported to you that the recon was going to pass in August. How did I know? Because the Democrats, every senator, yeah, including him, were in that meeting saying, do you agree to do a recon? I do. 3.5 trillion, I do. Okay, done. This is something you're going to hear for the first time ever on Mornings LA. Is the way that the legislators do legislation is they first have meetings in offices and say, hi, what do you want to do with this? What do you want to do with that? I like it this way. I like it that way. They agree upon the idea. Then they write, then they vote. Some viewers in some of the comments sort of think that they write, then they negotiate, or they write, vote, and then they negotiate. No. They negotiate at the very beginning. They negotiate at the very beginning. So that by the time they're writing, it confirms their verbal agreement. The written bill is a confirmation of their verbal agreement, and then the vote is just ceremonial because they've already met with everyone and understood they have enough votes for this. That's how it gets done, and that's why I told you in the month of June and July that the recon procedure was going to pass, because they had agreed upon the recon, the price tag, and they had met and seen that they had enough votes. Now, when they were going over the price tag, that's when everyone said go big and bold. That's when Ilhan Omar, a Democrat out of Minnesota, progressive, and Representative Richie Torres, Democrat, New York, progressive also, had said we need a recon that's larger and we need a recon that goes as big and bold as we want it. They got it. And that's why the president, before they started the voting, said, protect my recon, because everything in that recon is progressive checks for the American people. That's what Brian Schantz and Jalapal had said. So what's the difference between recon procedural and recon substantive? And what's happening right now? Here's another breaking news update for you today, is that Ron Klain confirmed my reporting, confirmed Ron Wyden, and confirmed Bernie and Chuck Schumer, which is the Democrats are in D.C. They are working and negotiating the terms of the recon substantive all this week and all weekend long. The interview Ron Klain gave was today on the weekend, on Labor Day weekend. They're all in town going over these provisions because they know that September is a very busy month. They can't just, disappear for 20 weeks in the South Pacific. So they know they have to do this. And let's go over what they're doing on that recon substantive right now by understanding the two-path process. We have 2 paths and 2 items to do. Number 1, recon, your money, also called reconciliation, also called the budget bill, price tag $3.5 trillion, also called the Democratic spending plan or social reform plan from the progressives. Bipartisan, not your money, roads and bridges, $1.5 trillion, also called infrastructure. We had 3 bills to do last week. Now we're down to 2 because recon procedure was passed. That's a tow truck. Tow truck is passed over the finish line. Now time to pick up the tow hitch. Recon substantive. I want you to pay attention to this one word in these next 2 graphics, and that word is committee. Recon procedural says price tag $3.5 trillion. Yes. And that committee number 1 will get $10 to committee number 2, $20. Yes. So then at recon, that's now done. That's done. So now recon subs, they say, okay, now that a committee has been given the sum of money, how is that committee going to spend the money? And that is what we're going over in the final 15 minutes of this video. It's a committee that has the money, not IRS. IRS is not sending out your money to you. It's committees that will have your money. And I'll explain that to you in the final 15 minutes of this video. How do we get to this wonderful spot? By calling the vote on the recon. And the recon passed, as Ron confirmed this morning to broadcast media. That letter calling for the vote was written by Jalapal, but signed by 12 House Democrats, part of 100 plus, who recently wrote the president a letter saying, we're going to be putting monthly forced stimulus checks to the forced stimulus recon. Wow, can we top that? Yes. As 7 members of the House Ways and Means Committee recently wrote the president a letter saying they're putting monthly forced stimulus checks to the forced stimulus recon. Now let's go over the people that have proposed recon checks for you. Everyone's talking about it. Only people not talking about it are Glenn Beck and Tucker Carlson. So let's go over the recon checks and who's talking about. Warren, Wyden, Sanders talking about. AOC, Omar talking about it. Over 150 legislators talking about it, writing about it. House Ways and Means that actually writes the bill talking about it. And then how do we get to this wonderful spot? By taking the very confusing global minimum corporate tax rate out of the recon and putting it into and making it a law by itself. Why did I pause there? Because this is also what Ron spoke about on Breaking News this morning. Again, confirming my reporting. Ron basically was asked, well, what about this Manchin article? Is there anything of issue there? He says, well, Manchin's talking about that the 3.5 trillion will raise the national debt, but it won't. As we will show him, it's not raising the national debt. It's being paid for by taxes. One, raising the global minimum corporate tax rate. It's that thing that I always, raise this piece of paper up, and I say I want to skip it because it's very confusing. The global minimum corporate tax rate is the first one that's paying for the recon. Clayton said. Then he said by raising corporate taxes, he said 55 corporations that are owing the government, hundreds of billions of dollars a year in taxes are not paying anything. They're paying zero. That pays for the recon. And then he said very, very multi-billion-dollar wealthy people are not paying their fair share of taxes. He says that's paying the recon. There's nothing, the national debt will not move an inch for the recon. So that is why I always stay with this global minimum corporate tax rate in the breadth of this coverage, so you know the importance of this. So can we top that? Yes. In the final 15 minutes of this video, we'll go over the world exclusive on this channel, the MSCs, the multiple stimulus checks, and why this is incredible, great news, and the timing is impeccable right now. The number one guy in DC wants you to have it, and I'm going to go over all the details in the final 15 minutes of the video. But first, if you've gotten one item from third stimulus, you're ready to rock on a fourth. If you can't find the other items, reach out to the volunteers. Here's a little bit about the volunteers, and I'll be back with you in 60 seconds as this big morning to LA with a lot of breaking news and a lot of world exclusives continues. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LA Daily for the excitement of the new LA live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LA at 9 a.m. Home LA returns at 11 a.m. daily. And then afternoons LA at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LA. And the excitement continues at mornings here, direct from Santa Monica, live on air along the coast. We have incredible details about that fourth stimulus check and why the number one Democrat in the equation wants to give you a monthly stimulus check. It's a world exclusive you're only going to hear on this channel. Then we go over the deal provisions of these items under the fourth stimulus recon. What does application-based mean and why you're going to kill it across the board? During the live chat, during the commercial break, people said prayers for Tina and prayers for Rob, so please include them in your prayers. Meantime, let's go over all the other incredible breaking news that's happening from Clayton, talking about all these issues from unemployment to stimulus. And this is Lalate, America's only 24-hour day, 7 days a week financial news channel in America. Live in the morning, next with 10 o'clock at Mornings Crypto, and 11 o'clock with noontime, and then taped in the afternoons with afternoons Lalate, and evenings Lalate. Boy, yesterday you met a whole new cast of characters. Did you see them? There was Wendy and Will Wen. They just keep on asking when. When is the bill? When is the vote? When is this? Then they asked, when is Mornings Crypto? It's at 10 o'clock, Wendy. Then we met Freedom Frida. She has her fake facts about everything. She says crypto is owned by the Democrats. It's not owned by the Democrats, Wendy. Then we had Calendar Colleen. It's September. She just contributes by saying everything is September. Not much of a contribution to community that keeps on repeating the date of the week it is. And then her dates are with this guy with the strange eyebrow. He is countercon. He says, whatever happened to July? Whatever happened to November, October? Whatever happened to July and August? Well, whatever happened to you sign up for those LA alerts? It's totally free. You go to news.la.com, put your name and email address in there, and put your and watch for that confirmation email. Over 1,000 of you have not confirmed yet. So if you haven't gotten confirmation, do it again. Look for this confirmation email. It may be in the spam folder, and then you're ready to rock and roll and get those confirmations, whether your shirt is on or your shirt is off. Fifth stimulus, it raises your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security Railroad benefits. That fifth stimulus starts to heat up in legislation, which I'm going to feature more tonight on Evenings LA. Step one is they're going to raise your benefits up. Then they're going to apply a new benchmark. That new benchmark is inflation. And if it's 5%, you'll go up another 5%, not just next year, but a lifetime. Due to running time, I'm not going to spend too much more on fifth stimulus. I'll cover more tonight on Evenings LA. But let's go into the final 15 minutes of this video, starting right now. Deal done, signed, sealed. A fourth stimulus recon is a done deal. Why am I able to say a done deal? The same reason Ron, the chief of staff, said this morning. We passed this 2 weeks ago. That's literally what he said to the news reporter. The fourth stimulus recon is passed. It means there'll be a recon, a $3.5 trillion, all checks for the American people. And the biggest recon we've ever seen in the history of this channel, because the first and second, third was this small, and 80% for corporations. This one's going to be this big, and all for you. Now, it's all going to be application-based before we get to stimulus checks that come from IRS, because these checks are coming from committees for things like internet, teeth, dental, vision. IRS knows nothing about your vision or your teeth. Let's go over some of the items that are proposed for this fourth stimulus recon. And what's incredible great news is that there's a lot of checks for you to get under this fourth stimulus recon. Not one, but a lot of them. Here are some of the items proposed. Free school meals for all, checks. Tax break checks. Cheaper prescription medication, checks. Then there's checks for farming, checks for free internet, checks for workers like independent contractors, checks for dental, checks for vision, checks for hearing, checks for seniors, checks for lowering the eligibility age across the board. You see there that IRS would never have checks for your vision or your dental or your internet. That would come from committees. And that's why I said earlier in this video, watch that graphic carefully when I say the word committees. Committees will have your money under this fourth stimulus recon, and you'll be picking up the phone saying, I want that money. That's application-based stimulus. We've been doing this since day one, where you pick up the phone and say, I want that money. This is not where a check is coming from IRS, because IRS doesn't know about your teeth, doesn't know about your internet. And that's why when we were talking about the recon, we were talking about committees. Committees will have that money for you, and you'll pick up the phone and get these incredible sums of money. And that is why people like Johnny's family member are going to have this sort of transitional time, going from thinking, why do I have to pick up the phone to get the money? And I just thought all this money under stimulus was automatic, that just sort of comes from IRS. To Johnny saying, no. You need to pick up the phone and get this SNAP. You need to pick up the phone and get this money. And then the family member getting $50,000. It's that refocusing of the mindset to realize, wait a second, I got to pick up the phone. And this money under fourth stimulus will be a lot of money for viewers of this channel. Imagine if you got $20,000, $30,000 from 3 items on third stimulus, how much money you can get under fourth stimulus. It's incredible, great news. Now let's turn to the IRS stimulus check and the monthly occasion of it, MSC, monthly stimulus check. You know, we all have a television set. Most of us do. And you turn on that TV set, and the channel you watch might be your local news station. That local news station may be owned by a national broadcaster that has 300, 500 news stations across the country. And they get their news feed from the national broadcaster. Well, if the national broadcaster does bad news reporting, then the local news station gets that feed of bad news reporting. And what's the bad news reporting for stimulus checks? I haven't heard about it, so I guess it doesn't exist. The reason why the broadcast reporters have been so bad when it comes to stimulus check news coverage is because they haven't cared to pick up the phone and ask a legislator if they're doing it. You would think it's such an obvious thing to do as a reporter. It's called investigative. It's not even called investigative reporting. It's just called asking the source. They're not asking anyone. So then they're reporting nothing to you. Here's what happened. 3 weeks ago, I was telling viewers, pick up the phone and call your Democratic senators. Ask them about the MSC. Push Purple Power. Push, push, push. That's what we do. One viewer, WR, picked up the phone and called his senator, Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's oldest confidant. Said, let's talk about those stimulus checks. Talked to his staffer professionally, respectfully, and kindly. And the staffer said, yes, Senator Chris Coons is proposing a monthly stimulus check. Well, hello. The viewer found out something the broadcast media hasn't been able to do in 5 months. Disgraceful. They just don't care to give you accurate reporting. Now, we're talking about even liberal media. Now, we have conservative media on the other side, the Tucker Carlsons, the Glenn Beck. They're never going to tell you to get a stimulus check. Then we have Freedom Frida. She's going to tell you there's no recon, there's no stimulus check, there's no we're being invaded by UFOs tomorrow. She's just going to run anything she can run it out of that mouth. But among even the liberal media, they weren't picking up the phone calling. So what happened going into last week? Well, let's understand what this recon is. The recon, complete name, is the Forced Stimulus Reconciliation Budget Bill. It's a budget bill. Which committee in the Senate oversees the budget bill? The Budget Committee. Sort of obvious. It's just a little obvious. And who's the chairman? And what's the number one position of the Budget Committee? The chairman of the Budget Committee. Oh, yeah. The chairman of the Budget Committee that does the budget bill. Okay, I got it. And who's the chairman? Bernie Budget Bill Sanders. Okay, Bernie Budget Bill. Chairman of the Budget Committee, Budget Bill. I got it. It's sort of, yeah, I got it. So do you think anyone picked up the phone and ever asked Bernie Sanders about this? No. Yeah, I don't think anyone from the broadcast media asked Bernie Sanders about his budget bill. No. Why? Because they're busy asking Courtney and Chloe what color of eyeshadow they're wearing. It's just, ask the darn question. So what happened last weekend? Bernie actually said, ask me. He basically said, ask me. Bernie Sanders gave a quote last week that said the following. He said, prior budget chairmen sort of do everything in the D.C. area, but I like to get amongst the people. What does amongst the people mean? He means he wants to hear from you. He wants to hear from you. He wants you to pick up the phone and call him. And so that is what I said to viewers last weekend. I said, pick up the phone, call Bernie Sanders. And viewers, not a lot, but a few did. Lynn Glenn called. And Brother Joshua, longtime viewer and community volunteer from 2020, picked up the phone and spoke to Bernie Sanders' staffer, professionally, respectfully, and kindly, and said, let's talk about those MSCs. Let's talk about those monthly stimulus checks. And the staffer said, yeah, Bernie Sanders is doing a monthly stimulus check. Well, hello. You think the broadcast media could have stopped worrying about Courtney's eyeshadow and picked up the phone and asked about the budget bill from the budget chairman from the budget committee that said, call me? No, of course not. And so along the way, we've had to deal with a lot of crazy, inaccurate reporting. And now we have the source saying yes. Let's go over all the incredible details starting right now. Number one, monthly, yes. Amount, $1,000 to $1,400 a month. Yes, great news. Number of months, 3 to 6 months. Great news. Let's go over the calculation. The House bill was $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000, but it takes 12 months to get that. That would be 12 months of sitting around to get $13,000. Let's go over Bernie's high end. His high end, 6 months, $1,400. That's about $9,000 in 6 months, Bernie, versus sitting around 12 months to get $13,000. Which one do you like? House of Senate, House of Senate, vote on the live chat. But let's see, this is basically not a big difference. And this is the guy that's doing it. Now let's understand the situation. Freedom Frida wants you to believe her fake facts. And what are her fake facts? That Glenn Beck told her that every Democrat's out of town for the next 30 years. Yeah, they're not out of town. We have the confirmation today, live on air, on broadcast media from Joe Biden's chief of staff, that the Democrats are in town working on the recon substantive right now. We have Bernie saying that. We have Chuck saying that 4 to 5 times a day. We have Ron Wyden saying that. And you have me saying that. They're working on the recon substantive right now, and they want to hear from you, and they want to see from you. So go on that telephone, pick up the phone, and call Bernie Sanders' staff on Tuesday. Say, yes, I support you. Yes, I support you. I support you for those monthly stimulus checks. You have my support. Purple Power, this is what we do. We've always done this. We can do this as a family. What is Purple Power? I launched Purple Power last year after people were calling me Mr. Purple because I was wearing a lot of purple shirts. I said, you have the Purple Power. You can do this as well. You can go get that EIDL approved. You have the Purple Power now. Then I started to call it Purple Power push, 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 because people were able to change history as we did. We got a second stimulus check into the fourth stimulus recon. No one was going to give you a stimulus check. We put it in there. And we got it in there. $600 stimulus check, changing history. Now is your opportunity to make history. You're making history on this channel by picking up the phone and calling Bernie Sanders saying, I support you. Contact Elizabeth Warren, Ron Wyden, AOC, Omar. Pick up the phone and call. If you're in the live chat right now, post which Democrats you have reached out to for this. Understand, going on Twitter and sending a 10-word tweet is one task, but picking up the phone is a whole other task. They want to hear from you. Go to their website and write them a message. They want to hear from you. They want to read from you. And with that, let's recap where we are. Number one, there's a lot going on in this channel, and I got it. There's a lot going on in this video, and I got it as well. You found a video in which you're learning how to get a lot of money. $50,000 a person, in some cases, in less than 3 days. A channel that's getting you money right now because you need money. Johnny went from 0 to 80,000 last week. Then this week, he told his family members about them, and they went from 0 to 100,000 or 150,000 in less than 5 days by listening to Johnny and saying, watch this kid. That's the first thing we're doing on this channel. Big sums of money that I can get you right now, and you qualify for this money. Number two, there is no forced stimulus check coming this week. There's no forced stimulus check coming this week. There's no forced stimulus check coming last week. The eviction moratorium is ended on the federal level. Some states have extended the eviction moratorium. Some cities have extended the eviction moratorium. It's a little complicated. Some cities have it, but not the county, but not the state. And then the unemployment benefits is not going to be extended by the federal government. At the moment, no state is wishing to extend the unemployment benefits either. So this money is very important for you to get third stimulus. This is the real money. This is the real deal. This channel's the real deal. Third, they're doing the recon substantive right now. They agree upon stuff first by meeting face-to-face and caucusing. Then they write, then they vote. Don't focus on the vote date or the bill date or the what Wendy when wants you to know. When are they voting? When are they voting? When are they bill? When do I see this? No. By then, everything will the coffin will have closed. At that point, they will have already decided on everything. They're deciding things now when they're caucusing. This is where you want to push Purple Power right now. And then we're focusing on all that big application-based money that's available in that fourth stimulus recon. A lot of it. So much details across one video. I know it's a lot. So if there was too much, you can always replay it. I'm next back with you at 10 o'clock with Morning's Crypto. Let's look back at our cast of characters we met this week. There was Calendar Colleen. It's September. She just wants to tell us what month of the week it is. She doesn't really contribute much in her comments on this channel where she says, it's September. Then her date has been with Counter Cod. What is his contribution to this channel? Always telling us whatever happened to July, whatever happened to August. My response is, whatever happened to you, sign up for that confirmation email from those LA alerts. Watch for that confirmation email. Make sure you sign up for them. Then we have Freedom. She has fake facts that you can't even imagine. Nancy gave herself a raise. No, she didn't. She gave her staff a raise. Every staffer across the country got a raise. They're W-2s. They're going to get fired tomorrow. And then our newest cast members, Wendy and Will, when? All they do is ask when. When's the bill? When's the vote? When is this? When is that? And they and for now, let me say, join me next on Morning's Crypto at 11 a.m. When? At 11 a.m. Wendy. And then at 10 a.m. And then I'm back with you at noontime at 11 a.m. When? At 11 a.m. Wendy. I just said it. Stay informed, stay focused, stay here, and stay beautiful. It's a beautiful Labor Day weekend. We'll have a lot of fun reporting and a lot of details, breaking news, and exclusive on this channel all weekend long. And stay with Lalate.